Alright, so I've played a few hours of the Donkey Kong Bananza, DK Island / Emerald Rush DLC, whatever the official name is, and I've got some thoughts about it. I want to talk about it for a little bit today. There's been a couple of takes online that I've heard about this DLC, comparing it to Mario Odyssey, that I want to get into at the end, that I don't necessarily agree with, but for the most part, pretty much everything that you've already heard, the general opinion about the overall DLC, I also agree with. But in case you haven't heard anything about it yet, let's get into what you actually get for paying $20. So, there's really just two attractions here. You've got DK Island, and you've got Emerald Rush. So we'll start with the island itself. This is literally a brand new island that you can explore, and honestly, it's really, really cool. I love the remixed Donkey Kong 64 island music. It's interesting because, like, I'm not really nostalgic for the original DK64, but I have heard that song so many times, and it brings back so many fond memories of when I was younger. And while this isn't necessarily like a one-to-one recreation from the that hub world in DK64, it does have the big Donkey Kong head, and it pays tribute to a couple other DK games. There's even like a pirate ship that I guess is like reminiscent of either the final level in Donkey Kong Country 1 or just a stage from Donkey Kong Country 2. Whatever it may be, it's a very, very nostalgic level. It's super cool, but there's nothing to do here. What? Okay, I'm really, really confused. Why go through the effort of building and modeling and creating this entire island, which clearly took a long time? Like, this is a very well-detailed and nice-looking map, but there's nothing to do. Like, there's nothing to collect. Well, okay, I guess technically that's not true. You can go to a couple of gold levels. I've heard there's like 6 of them. I've only found a few. But yeah, there's gold levels, so if you want to get extra gold, cool. But there's no bananium gems. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's no bananas. There's no sub-levels. None of that stuff exists here. It is just an empty level. And like, why? Why would they go through the effort of making it if there's nothing to do? It just feels like a huge waste of time, if you ask me. And that's DK Island. It's a really, really cool place, but wow, I really just don't understand the thought process here. Like, again, if you're going to go through the effort of making the island, like, give us something to do. Like, wouldn't you want to do that? Maybe not. I guess the thing to do is Emerald Rush, so we'll go into that. Okay, so Emerald Rush, you probably heard already, it is a roguelike mode where basically you're going around punching emeralds for Void Kong, so you work for him in this mode. And funny enough, a lot of the gold that's already in this layer, as well as the other playable emerald layers in the game, basically all the gold is just replaced with emerald. So yeah, you're going around and you're trying to collect a certain amount of it per round. There's a quota that you have to hit after every single round. And basically, to help make that more possible, you can get extra perks by breaking bananas, getting fossils, or even just clearing Void Kong's goals. And honestly, I think my favorite part of the mode is just the fact that you do have constant goals to go for, because yeah, there is like a lot of places to find emerald and like just like collect stuff, try to chain combos together and stuff. I think just the fact that you do have these like dedicated goals where you're like guaranteed to get a certain amount of like emerald and the emerald chips, I think that's great. And it's pretty fun for what it is. And as you go through a bit of this mode, you're going to start getting perks, and these perks might either just be like the same upgrades from the skill tree that you basically are able to use for a temporary amount of time, or you might get brand new stuff. So like as an example, you can get a perk for getting a higher multiplier for killing certain enemies, or for breaking bananas. And there's several types of perks. There's a lot here. You know, if you've played a roguelike, you probably have an idea of how this works. And on top of that, there's multiple difficulties for all the layers. So I think for like the first level, you only do like 3 or 4 rounds or something, and then it progressively gets higher and higher. And I think like the maximum is 10 rounds, although to be fair, I have not played the highest difficulty on any stage yet. I honestly I don't think I'll be interested enough to do that, to be completely real with you. You know, Emerald Rush, it's interesting. Like, it is really fun. And, you do actually get stuff for playing the mode a bunch of times. Like, as you're going through each different rush, you'll be able to unlock this game mode for multiple different levels. You can get brand new outfits. There's different types of perks that you'll be able to use while playing. And on top of that, you can also spend chips on trophies, although technically that's just for DK Island. But hey, if you want to get a bunch of trophies and use your chips for something, there you go. Very cool. I don't even know how many there are yet. And this is something else that's a little bit like obscure, but I might as well bring it up. There is this weird, like, super, like, cryptic puzzle that you can find on DK Island as well. You have to go up to this, like, big banana that kind of reminds me of Zananab. Zananab, if you don't know who he is, he's a character from DK Jungle Climber. Don't ask, long story. And I haven't done the puzzle yet, but it's basically the only unique thing to do in DK Island. But anyway, getting a little off track here. So yeah, that's pretty much Emerald Rush. It is a roguelike, but you're playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. And that's really about it. And I gotta be honest, I really only had fun with this mode in DK Island, and that's because pretty much all of the other layers that you can unlock this mode with have sub-layers, and I actually think that the sub-layers kind of hurts Emerald Rush, and that's because Void Kong's goals will swap from sub-layer to sub-layer, and it's going to force you to constantly, like, use cannons to get to him faster, because generally speaking, you do want to try to do as many goals as possible. It's the easiest way to get emeralds if you're not near any. But the issue is that you can only warp from place to place so many times in between each round. It's like 2 or 3 times or something. It's not that much. So, I don't know. It's just really not that fun on the bigger stages, I guess is the best way to describe it. Now, before going into if this is worth $20, TLDR, no, but this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit is I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is the same equivalent to paying $20 for Luigi's Balloon World and the Mushroom Kingdom post-content from Mario Odyssey. And while I kind of understand the sentiment, I completely get where people are coming from, I really don't think that makes sense. And here, the thing is like, let's just start with comparing the Mushroom Kingdom from Mario Odyssey and DK Island. These two things, while yes, they are both technically post-game content, they're both very nostalgia-focused, they're completely different in quality. Like the Mushroom Kingdom, you actually have things to do. There's tons of moons to find. You can go inside the castle, talk to Toadette for extra moons. There's boss refights. There's a lot of fun Easter eggs. It's awesome. But DK Island has none of that. Like, literally none of that. And now to compare Luigi's Balloon World to Emerald Rush. Now, I don't think Emerald Rush is the greatest roguelike of all time. It's better than Luigi's Balloon World. Like, let's just be real here. I mean, with Luigi's Balloon World, what are you doing? You're hiding a balloon, or you're trying to find one in a time limit. And that's it. There's no substance or really depth to it. But it was fine because it was free, right? Just the fact that it was free made it just made it just the fact that there wasn't much to it didn't make it that big of a deal. Like, it was just a bonus. And that's what I really think Emerald Rush should have been. And that's kind of how I want to end this. Is like, the Emerald Rush, sure, you could argue that maybe there's enough here to warrant paying for it, but $20 is ridiculously steep. Like, honestly, this really should have been a free add-on just for the fact that, like, they should be trying to get us used to paying $70. Like, if you really want us to do that, and I still don't like doing that, let me just be honest. But if they want to try to train their audience to get used to $70 games, you gotta give us some freebies. This should have been a freebie, or at the very most, a $5 expansion. But honestly, just the fact that the game was $70 and most of Switch 2 games are going to be $70, this should have come free with that. Like, this should have been, I guess, like, the extra tax. We get some extra free content. But no, $20. It's honestly pretty absurd. And this might be something that I do a whole video on eventually, is just talking about all the Switch 2 editions and all the DLC, because so far, pretty much everything that's come out has not felt worth the price. Like, Jamboree TV, that was $20. That was a scam. The Kirby Starcross World, definitely fun, but probably way too expensive for how short it is. And then Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, that was only $10, or it's free with Switch Online. But if you were to pay $10 for it, That's still too much. Like, what? You get 4K resolution? I mean, this is a 4K console. I feel like it should be free to get resolution upscaling. Like, I know it's like all resolution upscaling. Like, some of it, they are putting in extra work into textures and stuff. But even still, $10 is a lot to ask for what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom offered. And I know it has the Zelda notes too. But anyway, like I said, I might make a whole video on that. But yeah, I don't know. Man, it's... I don't know. It's really starting to get my gears grinding a little bit about just what's coming up. I'm thinking about Kirby Air Riders. Are we going to have to pay $20 for like another city trial, like City Trial 2? $20 for that? What about the next 3D Mario? Do we have to pay $20 for a post-game, I don't know, Isle Delfino level? We're going to have to do that? What about Smash Bros? An extra $20 to $30 for like 2 characters and 4 stages? Like, how far is Nintendo going to push this? That's what I really want to know. And I don't want to think about it. I honestly, I don't want to think about it right now. I'm a little worried. I shouldn't say I'm like worried about Nintendo. I'm more or less just, I'm feeling the, I'm feeling the anger that everyone else is feeling towards this because these prices are completely unwarranted. They really are. So yeah, honestly, don't get this. Even if you like Donkey Kong Bonanza, this is not worth the $20. You know what? You want to know what you should spend your $20 on? Hollow Knight Silk Song. Go buy that.